last weekend. Difference between Friday and Saturday night.
Well, I think that, it seems like our Saturday nights have been better because we lose Friday night, and we have to find a way to overcome that. We need to be more. I think we're ready to play. I think we're working hard. I just don't think we're executing the way we need to on a Friday night. So we changed the routine up here a little bit this week as far as going over things differently later in the week, tactical things, just so they have a better understanding of what we need to do on Friday night, because I think it's because it's a younger group, it's a little too far removed from when we meet on certain things. So we're going to change. We changed the routine up this week to where we're doing things a little later in the week, just to see if they grasp it sooner. So Friday night we're a little bit more in tune.
I saw that you made some changes going into Friday night's game with your lines. You did a little.
Well, that was more out of necessity with injuries.
Okay. What is your injury situation right now?
Well, we got 2 or 3 guys that are probably out.
Okay. And they are?
I don't want to let Michigan State know.
Let them find out.
Yeah, they'll find out.
Okay. That was Friday. Did you do some tweaking on Saturday? The lines that you had?
Well, the injuries occurred over the Friday night, so yeah, I had to make line changes on Saturday.
Okay. Again, Friday night you had 2 shots on goal, which is in the third period, which is not gonna get you anywhere. Saturday night though, the kids seem to have picked it up.
Yeah, I mean, right now the biggest thing for us is consistency. First of all, is to be in a little bit more, execute a little bit better on Friday nights and doing it for 60 minutes. And the same thing would apply to Saturday. Because early on in Saturday, I thought we were on our heels a bit in the start of the game. They scored the first goal again. They actually scored a second goal that was we challenged and was disallowed. And that changed the whole momentum of the game. When that second goal was disallowed, I thought we started playing. And we started playing real well for the last part of the first period, and then the second period we dominated, And then the third period, I thought we were back on our heels. Of course, we had a 6-1 or 5-1 lead or 6-1 lead. So it was, that's more human nature, I think, than it is anything else. I thought we were, on our heels too much in the third.
Were you planning to go split the goaltending last week?
I had planned on it. I just didn't know which night I was going to play Dylan. I was leaning towards Friday night, and I kind of got talked out of it by Cale. So
he's pretty good talking, huh?
Well, he's our guy, But Dylan's a good goaltender, and I do want to get him starts in there, get some confidence, and challenge Cale. But I also want to make sure that Cale's fresh in the second half this year. So it's not just in the early part of the season. I'm looking at possibly playing Dylan, spot starting him not too far apart, but enough to where Cale still gets, the majority of the games. But, Dylan's played well in the 2 games he's played. And his puck handling, it really made a big difference on Saturday.
Are you thinking about it this weekend? Or?
I think I'm just going, I'm going off my instincts generally. The fact that we had lost Friday night makes it a little harder to do that. That's why I was thinking about starting on Friday. But I listened to Cale just because, like I said, he's the Mike Richter Award winner. He's the best goalie in the country last year, and he's starting to play well again. He had that one game the beginning of the year where he gave up 6, but since then he's been really, really good. So, and we haven't scored for him. That's been his biggest issue, is we're not scoring, more than a goal or 2 a game. And, I think that puts more pressure on him, too.
A little scouting report on Michigan State. What do you know about them?
I think that they didn't lose much, so they're pretty much the same team they had a year ago, which means they're more experienced, and they have a real, maybe one of the best, if not the best line in college hockey in their first line. And this year, I think they're getting more depth scoring from their second and third line. So, they're very staunch defensively. They do a lot of really good things. They're a very well coached team. And I think that they're, a much improved team from last year. And they certainly, I don't think that they're a basement dweller this year. They're going to compete to, be in the hunt in the conference. I don't know where the weak links are in the conference this year.
Did you, were you kind of surprised a little bit about them going out to Arizona State and getting beat twice?
I mean, Arizona State's an much improved program. I mean, and they play in a little bandbox, so it's a really tough place to play.
174.
Yeah, I mean, it's a small building, and if you're not accustomed to playing in that kind of an environment, that kind of a building, it's challenging. I mean, I've seen that with our teams in the past, where we go into a place like Ferris State or Bowling Green, or one of these small buildings, and Merrimack was a good example. In Hockey East. And it's a much different environment to play in, and I'm sure that they didn't have a lot of time and space to make plays, and I'm sure Arizona State, every time they see a Big Ten team or an NCHC team, they're going to be all geeked up.
Coach, can you talk about what has Cal Burke brought to you so far this year?
I think he's actually been a little up and down at times. I mean, I think that he gets into these one-on-one modes where I think he's not playing to his strength, which is his speed. When he's using his speed, like he did on Saturday night, one-on-ones Friday night, and used his speed on Saturday, it's not that he can't beat people one-on-one, but like when he gets defensemen turning, he has so many more options. And he's done that quite a bit, but not consistently, not enough to for my benefit. And he's had a good first month and a half here. And he wants. I know he wants. And I think that guys like him, they know that we need to score. So just like I was talking about Cale, when we don't score, having pressure on him, I think the guys that are scorers put pressure on themselves and they try to do too much, and that's pretty typical. Like if he just focuses on the things he needs to do to score, which in my opinion the biggest one is using his speed wide. Then he becomes a real threat. And he's done that at times this year, but I think it's just a matter of doing it consistently on a night-in, night-out basis.
Thanks. It seems like when you guys have those big offensive wins like Saturday night or even against Nebraska, you guys get out to do a hot start in the first period, whereas when you have those close wins, close losses, the first period is slow. So what do you think is the key to kind of making sure that first period is always strong, being consistent in that first period?
Well, I'll tell you a big part of it, in my opinion. Like I think our guys are ready to play. I think that the biggest thing is that right now our special teams aren't where they need to be. Like if we get the first power play, we don't score. If we get the first penalty kill, we get scored on. And frankly, that's right now. We've been putting more attention in our 5-on-5 offense as far as trying to do more off the rush, and off the cycle as well. But I mean, really, we need to score a power play goal a game, and our penalty kill has been inconsistent as well. So that's the thing, in my opinion. Like in the first period, like you need that big penalty kill the very first part of the game, or you need that that power play goal to get you jump started. It's a huge factor, and I think that right now is one of our biggest concerns is trying to be more consistent on special teams.
Thanks, Coach.
What'd you take from last weekend as far as things?
Well, first of all, going into the weekend, we knew it was going to be a challenge. Yost is one of the hardest places to play in college hockey. And, coming out of the weekend with one win, it's not bad, but we would have liked to have two. But I think the second night, we stuck to our game plan a little bit more. And we had that really good second period, which I kind of think elevated our game. And we kind of built momentum off each goal. And, it was kind of nice to see some pucks go in, too, since we've been struggling with that. But overall, it was really nice to get that Saturday win, and hopefully we can carry that into next weekend.
You think you think that win was one of these things you see enough good things coming out of that you guys can build on?
Yeah, if you look at Duluth, Ohio State, even though we won a game against Ohio State, we scored 2 goals, and we haven't really been scoring much. So I think getting the win and seeing pucks go into the net, I think is just really going to help our confidence going forward. So I think, in particular, scoring a lot while winning is going to help our team.
What do you know about, what's it like playing up at Michigan State?
Yeah, I played against Michigan State last year there, and we were fortunate enough to get the sweep. It's kind of a smaller ice sheet. Ice is fast. Boards are lively. So I I think they have a pretty good atmosphere, so it should be a good test. And I know they've had a pretty good start to the season too, so it's going to be a challenge, and we'll be ready to go.
And they, even though they didn't play like a cellar dweller team like they were last year. I mean,
yeah,
that's there's a lot of talk. Coaches talked about it that the league's going to be more balanced this year.
Oh no, definitely. I mean, even last year their top line was one of the best lines in the Big Ten, and they're all returning, and they have the same line, and so you can expect them to be a presence out there, and we're gonna have to be aware of that. And they have other guys too that are stepping up, and like you said, like every team in the Big Ten is good, and there's gonna be no easy weekend. So we have to be ready to play just like any other weekend.
What'd you do to step up your game this year? Where did you want to
improve? I wanted to improve offensively, and I thought I had like the capability to do it. I just wasn't doing it the past 3 years as I would have liked, and I just worked hard in the off season, and I got some confidence while working on it. And it's nice to see some stuff pay off, but still pretty early in the season, and definitely I feel I can still take it up a notch, and with the rest of our team as well, take it up a notch. So hopefully do that before winter break.
Thanks, Jack.
Perfect. Thanks.